Hey y'all, it is Sunday. I am so excited for the day. Um, Actually, I don't even know why I said that. I am tired as heck. I'm working on about 4 hours of sleep, but it is okay because I got on this like ridiculous streak last night and got a ton of stuff done. So, and what's always crazy though is like I'm excited to get a ton of work done, but then like people are like, "Cool, what'd you do?" And I'm like, "Well, really, it was all on the back end, so you can't tell." Anyway, y'all, let's go ahead and step into the goddess realm. So, I have to apologize. This morning it was my fullest intent to fix the audio on this because I understand when it's streaming that like my voice and my mouth are not correct. So, I'm sorry guys. I came in, I started doing my meditation thing. I was feeling the vibe and I was like, "We got to get started." And then it wasn't till like just now that I was like, "Oh yeah, you meant to do that this morning." So anyway, forgive me. I will have it fixed for tomorrow. Fingers crossed. Good morning, Nicole. I hope your morning is off to an amazing start. I'm going to warn you, I am goofy this morning, so we're just going to ride with it. Grab your water. Let's social it up. Chug a lug. Hit like when you're done. Mm. So I'm excited to dive in. I've just been getting some really awesome personal guidance and messages and reassurance and direction, and I really sincerely hope that y'all are feeling what I'm feeling too. The buzz is incredible, and it's so awesome to see things come together, especially everything that we've talked about over the last few months. So anyway, let's dive in and get started. Thank you, God. Thank you to our angels, our goddesses, our fairies, our guides for all the amazing guidance and direction you've been giving us, for helping us to truly understand how to live and to walk within our life purpose, for showing us ways to incorporate our life purpose into our daily lives, to move to that goddess that we are not only know that we can be and that we want to be, that we were meant to be, and even knowing that we're capable of so much more. So we thank you for all the guidance and direction and helping us to feel loved and supported, which makes it so much easier to trust the direction that we're feeling, our divine intuition. We ask that you continue to speak with us through our divine intuition, through those signs around us, through those loving words around us, and that help us to receive what it is that you have for each and every one of us in our own individual lives, and to make it applicable within our lives. We ask that anyone who hears this message be completely blessed by it in unconditional love and understanding. We ask for these things. Amen. All right, let's dive in. Nicole says, "Good morning. I'm downright giddy today. Full moon energy. I could barely sleep last night." That has been me the last 2 nights. Good morning, Javon. You know, when I was in the shower this morning, I had this realization that my big thing over the last 2 weeks, because I know I've been wanting to be more consistent with the readings, but I know sometimes they're at 6 a.m., sometimes they're at 11 a.m., a little bit later. But one of the things I've been really working on, again, is noticing my natural flow and when my moon cycles, so to speak. So not just from day to day or week to week, but also even from hour to hour. And it was kind of interesting. I was in the shower this morning and I was like, you know what, Sharita, you got such and such bit of information on the Scorpio full moon, or Scorpio new moon, which what I believe was in like October of last year. And I got the information and I was like really into it, and I've been applying it and it's been cool. But then all of a sudden at Scorpio, I realized it was at Scorpio full moon, the completion this year, that I was like, whoosh, like all the pieces started to fall together. And I'm like, oh my God, noticing my moon cycles. So I'm with you, Nicole, feeling this giddy energy. In the past, when we've set our intentions for new moon, some of the things when it comes to full moon, like I start getting anxious in the past. And I think in the past it was more so operating from the shadow aspect, from those fears of, operating out of a place of lack. I can't move forward until, being all extra dramatic with myself. And as I have worked along with y'all to continue to shed light on my shadow, to continue to heal and to integrate those things, because again, I know it's a continual process. It's not just a fix it once and you're done for life, But as I do so, I gain more and more clarity and understanding, and I'm just seeing now with this clarity and this understanding how the steampunk priestess within me is really coming to life, in the sense that, again, it's not always about what we see in our goggies, in our specs, in our current lenses, but knowing and trusting and believing and understanding that third eye, that divine intuition, that focus, that laser-like focus, I just put the card away, I'm sorry, I literally had it out this morning, but that laser-like focus she had on her third eye. Nicole says that Scorpio full moon was magical. Yes, it was. And the crazy part of it was I didn't even start feeling the magic till like a month later, when I was like, holy cow, that was magical. I just didn't realize it. But you are so incredibly right. So anyway, guys, I say all that to say that I really hope that you are allowing those feelings to flow. And the reason I choose the words allow those feelings to flow is because I know that the energy is here, and I know you've been getting messages, not only just our readings, but within your own personal lives as well. And so it's really just a matter of surrendering to that divine intuition, to that life, that heart's purpose, that life path. And what I have found is in completely surrendering to it, oh my gosh, it takes off so much of the worry, obviously, and the concern and the frustration, but it has really allowed me to move more from a place of lack and a place of fear and a place of what if to a full and complete place of knowing, understanding, and confidence and moving forward. And when I tell y'all, it's kind of wild. Like, I have some incredibly wild ambitions by normal standards. And so when I start talking to my husband about these things, or when I am thinking about them, and I'm like, oh, I want to share this with somebody, and I'm like, okay, Sharita. In the past, I would have backed off and been scared, like, this person's going to think I'm crazy, because who the hell ever does that? Or people say they want to do it, but whoever accomplishes it, But what I'm seeing now is for me to just be, to walk within my light, to be who I am to be, to, go ahead, and it's okay for me to share some of those wild ambitions. Because the people who are in the dark are going to be like, okay, girl, go ahead. But again, like we've been saying the last few days, first they ask why, and then they ask how, once they start to see results. So what I'm hoping, guys, is that what I'm saying in totality is that I hope you are feeling more whole and complete in the fullness of the love and support that the universe has for you, and is really behind you, like pushing you, propelling you to not just take steps and to move forward, but to like rocket into what it is that you're supposed to be doing and where you're supposed to be in your life. Like, I think that there are some of us who are like, I'm at a point where I can't turn back to where I was. Like, it was comfortable and I would love to go back there because it's familiar, but I can't. I have to keep moving forward. So if that's where you're at, awesome. If that's not where you're at and you're having trouble identifying and reaching, then by all means, schedule a free reading. That's something where you could get some clarity, some insight, and really some understanding about what it is that you're at and where you are to be going. And one of the things I want to say real briefly before we dive into our daily reading about the private readings, or about the free reading in particular, is that sometimes we're holding a question in our heart and in our mind, and sometimes we get a different answer. And we're like, well, my question was A, but you're giving me the answer to B. And really just understand, sometimes, again, we get really focused in on, I need this specific answer. But we have to remember that our guides, our higher self, God, our angels, our goddesses, our fairies, that they know better. They have a greater perspective. They've got an infinite perspective. And so they are telling us, you're asking this question, but really, this is what you need to know. Okay, so I always encourage people to watch the video. If it makes sense, awesome, be with it. If you're like, okay, but I still don't quite, take a step back for a few days, come back and rewatch your reading again. Okay, guys, so that's all I have for that. Javon says Steampunk Priestess. Yes, that card, like, I'm telling you, that is, like, hashtag my life right now. Where is our message coming from? I think our message is coming from our goddesses. And I don't know how many cards we're getting today, guys. I don't think we're doing our normal 7-card spread. I think we're just going to roll. Okay. What I just heard is calm down, Sharita. I think we're going to just roll with. And I shuffled the heck out of these. I literally went through and shuffled like all my decks before we got started. Like, I want to make sure. And I'll tell you why. And this is something that I'm learning to trust. This is a trust issue with me, about me. Sometimes, oftentimes, like when we get done with our daily readings, there are specific cards that I'll leave face out for me to see throughout the day, just as a reminder for me while I'm working. Oh yeah, let me stay focused on that. You know what? Duh. That's right. Thank you for the reminder. And so when we get ready to do our readings in the morning, or when I do, other readings or what have you, I'll stick the card in the deck. And before I used to just kind of flip it over and I would start shuffling, right? And that same card would jump out and I'd be like, oh, man, maybe I didn't shuffle enough, or maybe I didn't shuffle appropriately. And so now what you'll see is you'll see me slide the card in the deck and then I'll shuffle another way. And then I'm like, holy, the same 2 cards just popped out. So I've learned to trust that, to be with that. But that's why I mentioned that I shuffled, because for me, it's just like, let's call it like an OCD thing. Like everything's got to be in its place right before I get started. So anyway, guys, I'm going to just continue to calm myself, ground myself, and then let's dive back into our reading. See, this is why I have to save my talking for after the reading and not before the reading. And I know that about myself because I get excited and I get worked up and then I gotta come back down to earth. Thank you, goddesses. What do you have for the goddess realm today? And thank you guys for being so understanding. I can be a bit goofy. Thank you for the goddess. Thank you for the goddesses. Yes. What do you have for us, goddesses? What do you have for the goddess realm? What do we need to know? Here's the better question. What do we need to know to utilize this energy that we're feeling? What do we need to know to utilize this energy that we're feeling? Okay, they were just like, all right, cut the deck. 3 cards to start. Every once in a while, Facebook kicks me out of the app on my phone. Okay. Interesting card. Very interesting card because I got some clarity on one of these yesterday. Okay, so the first card that we have is a oldie but a goodie. Cordelia, go outside. You have been indoors too long. Go outside and get some fresh air. Go outside. You have been indoors too long. Go outside and get some fresh air. So I think that's obviously a very literal card. Again, one of the things that I love in particular about this card is we see duality throughout it. We see, daytime and nighttime. We see water and land. She's got the moon, kind of like a moon goddess vibe going on, but she's in balance, right? She's balancing her masculine and feminine. She's balancing her indoors and her outdoors. One of the things that I got in particular with some clarity on this is I think there are some very specific people. I can't speak so much to those of you on YouTube because y'all don't chit chat as much, and that's A-okay. Do you, homie? But on Facebook, I think there are a couple of people in particular where you've gotten so much understanding and clarity by going in and shining the light on your shadow, but it's also time to dwell in the light as well. Having a comfort with your shadow doesn't mean it's okay to be there for everyone. Does that make sense? There are some people who are specifically guided to do their work, to let their light shine in the shadow. There are other people who are meant to let their light shine in the shadow to heal it, so that they can shine even brighter and in even more light. Does that make sense, guys? So what I really want you to take from this is balance. And if you're not sure if that's you or not, then I want you to just make sure that you're balancing yourself. If you're spending time, because I'll be honest with you, shedding light or doing work in the shadow, for me, for some people it's scary. For some people it's like, hell no. For me, it's actually exciting, because as a person who's spent so many years of their adult life feeling defeated and feeling left out and behind, it's so amazing to come in and to be able to self-correct or self-heal. Does that make sense? Like, it's like, yes, I accomplished something. I didn't have to go through 85 years of therapy and medication to do it. And I'm not knocking therapy and medication. I'm just saying, this was another alternative way for me to do it, and it was efficient, it was fast, and I allowed myself to open up, to hear from myself, to heal myself. I don't know. So I say all that to say, not everyone is meant to do their work in the shadow. It's not to say that you're not ever meant to go there. Of course, again, this is always an ongoing healing process. However, make sure you're not dwelling there. And whoever I'm saying this to, what I'm feeling is, you know that I'm talking directly to you. Whether you're watching now or later. I don't know that for sure. But I do know that whoever's watching this is like, okay. So you're feeling it in here. So make sure that you're balancing, not just in your physical world with inside and outside. Nighttime and daytime. Being on land, getting near water. We've talked about that. If you cannot get near a lake, an ocean, a river, get in the bathtub. Making sure you're staying hydrated. But also in your spiritual realm, in your mental realm, not just dwelling in the shadow, making sure that your light is also shining in the light. You might actually be a light worker, okay? And I want to be very careful in using those terms, because they are copywritten. Didn't realize that. Lakshmi, bright future. Stop worrying. Everything's going to be fine. And y'all know how I feel about this card. Nicole says, your goofiness is what I love about you. Yes, fizzle and sizzle for life. Y'all, that's some stuff from college. You don't even know. Hashtag Syphil and Ollie. And the Golden Girls. Lakshmi, bright future. Stop worrying. Everything is going to be fine. And again, I think for some people, it's you've been working on shedding light on the shadow, healing, integrating divine masculine, divine feminine, right, into balance. But that habit, remember we got that card, was it yesterday? That old habit of debt, that old habit, that old way of thinking still kind of plagues you just a little bit. And so you're being reminded, stop worrying. Everything is going to be just fine, right? Right at the day before full moon, we got 3 different cards. 1, 2, 3. That told us straight up, you know, don't worry about what you see. Know and believe and trust everything is working for your order, or working for your benefit. Divine order. Now, just to really follow up one more time with bright future, and I love how our goddesses did this. I'm about to show you something I think is really cool. You are supplied for today and all of your tomorrows. Infinite supply. So Lakshmi just told us straight up, you got a bright future. Don't worry. Everything's going to be fine. And then Sedna just came up with another, hey, by the way, just in case you didn't quite get it the first time, infinite supply. You are supplied for today and all of your tomorrows. Now, this is just something I saw that was really cool to me. So we have Cordelia, right? And we just rambled on about 5 minutes about Cordelia being duality, you know, with inside, outside, daytime, nighttime, water, land, right? And then we get Lakshmi, who is clearly in the sun, telling us, don't worry. And then we get Sedna, who is clearly under the moon, telling us infinite supply. So really what I'm getting from this is no matter where you think you are, and really that's what it all boils down to, is your perception of where you are. You're provided for, you're taken care of. And what was the card we got yesterday? Archangel Sandalphon told us, gifts from God. Open your arms to receive. We angels have gifts from your creator for you. Open your heart to receive. Open your arms to receive. So we are being reminded and guided yet again, even more, that wholesome, that backup, that foundation, that support. Hey guys, don't worry about all the details. I know that you've seen the vision from the mountaintop and you're freaking out. How am I going to climb the mountain? I don't even have hiking boots, let alone gear to climb the mountain. You know, don't worry about it. Focus on staying in balance, living a balanced life. Remember, total wellness is mind, body, and spirit. Eating correctly, taking in proper amounts of water, getting in rest and sleep. One of the things that I've learned about my cycles, and I'm so thankful that I started this path in the past, and I don't mean that to be like somebody's behind. Now's your time to start. But I have found a way that if I decide to work from 9 p.m. to 4 a.m. and then sleep all day or lay on the couch all day, that I can do that and still earn a living. And then get up tomorrow at 6 a.m. and work till 2 p.m. What I'm getting at is find ways to flow with your natural cycles. When you are walking in your life purpose, when you know truly what your heart's desire is and you're walking in your life purpose, you absolutely can create it. So begin to balance out your life. Sometimes, you know, we're so focused on the physical aspect in terms of taking care of our financial obligations that we spend so much time, not just time, because it's one thing to go to work from 9 to 5. It's something else maybe to put in a little bit of overtime a couple of times a week or whatever hours you have. But it's something completely different when you are pouring yourself, your energy into that. I need support. I've got to, I'm not, what if I don't pay bills? It's not to say, I'm not telling you to quit your job so that you can balance with your hangout time. What I'm telling you is, where is your energy focused? Am I going to this job to support my life purpose? Knowing that my life purpose fully supports me in my mental, my physical, and my spiritual? Or am I focused solely on my physical aspect, that I'm not balancing out my mental and my spiritual aspect? And I've done it the complete opposite way. Where I spent months like a couple of years ago, where I was so focused on my spirituality and my body that I completely blew off work and I wasn't growing in my business. Right? So start to do the things that bring you into balance. And really, that's the central message that I'm getting. I'm sorry it took me, 20 minutes to get there. But do the things that are going to bring you into balance. And understanding balance doesn't always mean equal. But as you become more and more in balance, your future gets brighter. And even in those times where it seems like, okay, maybe I'm in the shadow a little bit, maybe I've got to go back to the shadow to get some, you're still infinitely supplied for. Does that make sense, guys? I hope that really makes sense. Javon says, I hear you. Balance has been a major learning theme in my life. I totally understand. I know what you mean, because I'm one of those types, like, when I'm into something, when I am into it, I am all the way into it. Like, I saw this meme I posted not too recently. It was like, I have no, like, basically it was like, I don't have the ability to love by half measures. Like, I either love you to death or, like, I don't mess with you at all. You know, like, that is me with my projects. Like, I am either, like, full steam ahead and I'm feeling the vibe, or I'm just like, oh yeah, I forgot I was working on that. You know, because I've gone totally another way. So we are being encouraged to balance every area of our life. Now, one area that I will out loud admit that I have not been balancing as much as I should is my fitness. And trust me, when I'm feeling my fitness grind, I'm on it. But a lot of days lately, it's been like, oh, I'm going because I have to go. I haven't been balancing my energy into as why and what I want and staying focused on my intentions. Does that make sense, guys? So really, I just feel like we're being balanced to encourage, or we're being encouraged to balance our lives and to understand no matter where you feel like you're at, whether it's nighttime or daytime, whether you can see the bright future or not, you're provided for. Everything is going to be fine. Not only today and not only tomorrow, but all of your tomorrows. I mean, I just think that is so exciting. Okay, I don't know why, but I think we're going to talk to our fairies real quick. Thank you, fairies. Ooh, hello. Okay, one more, I think. See, and this is why I shuffle the cards, because sometimes it made me be like, oh, in the past I would have freaked out. Because we just got a card we got yesterday. Now, this is interesting, guys. Spiritual teacher. Your life purpose involves teaching others about healing and spirituality. Your life purpose involves teaching others about healing and spirituality. And really, I think to a certain extent, everybody's life purpose has some aspect of that. But if you're seeing this reading now, then it's you who's being called. This is now your time. You're being called to do this. And again, the thing that I really want to point out about this is that notice how they show the fairy, in the garden. She's got all the little animals around her. She's kind of sitting down telling story time. This isn't like a formal, conference or a school setting, because we have seen cards that are a little bit more formal, right? But really, she's just she's sharing her experience. She's sharing. And really, that's what I'm getting. Just sharing her experiences. And in sharing her experiences, she's helping to teach others about healing and spirituality. She's leading by living and walking and speaking in her truth. Does that make sense? And the cool part about it is, look at this, guys. Her audience is a captive audience. And the other thing that stands out to me, okay, I've seen this before, and I didn't really, okay, doesn't matter. The thing that really stands out is she's not talking to other little fairies, right? She's not talking to other little people. We've noticed, we have talked about that in the past, but I think the biggest thing that message from this today is that some of the people that you may be teaching and that in about healing and spirituality probably are people who you don't recognize are watching you intently. They might be people outside of your normal group. They might be people who don't look like you, who aren't the same, I don't want to say who aren't the same species, but, for example, and I'm going to use a very broad stereotypical example, it might be, it's like the hippie hanging out with the frat boy, right? Like, those are typically two different crowds. They may come from the same neighborhood with parents with similar backgrounds and education and what have you, but they're typically two different crowds. So the people who you might be sharing with, who you might be helping to educate in terms of healing and spirituality, the people who are going to want to hear you most might not be your crowd, might not be people who look like you. I learned a long time ago, the hard way, got my feelings hurt quite a bit, that my message ain't for my friends. Whether this was, whether I'm doing massage, fitness, nutrition, spirituality, my message ain't for my crowd. I learned that the hard way in business. Fortunately, I learned it in business before I learned it in spirituality. in this sense that, like, that could have been a crushing blow. But be aware. And I think one of the reasons that this is really screaming at me, this card, and why I keep dwelling on it is, again, because sometimes we get so focused on how an outcome is supposed to happen, what exactly it's supposed to look like. And just understand that anything can happen in any way. Right? We're stubborn about our goal, but we're flexible about our methods. Our goal, our purpose is to walk our highest goddess life, highest God life for those men who watch, because some guys do watch on both Facebook and YouTube. But walking our highest purpose by letting our light shine, that's ultimately what the goal is, right? All right, guys, I'm going to quit rambling about that. And our last card, I think this is going to be our last card. Do some research. You need more information about this situation. Look into it further before proceeding. Do some more research. You need more information about this situation. Look into it before proceeding. So before we talk about this, again, I just want to remind you, you've been told twice today that you have a bright future. Stop worrying. Everything's going to be fine. And that you have an infinite supply, not only for today or tomorrow, but all of your tomorrows. So now that you know that that aspect is taken care of, you're being guided to continue to explore, to do some research in particular. I think that's why this card is going to be so helpful. Because the exploring that you do, it may be researching, what it is your life purpose is in, how you can start to integrate this into your life, whether it be a side project, whether it be a hobby, whether it be just a way of being, whether it be a new career, whatever. But as you begin to balance, you get a better understanding. You're not just looking from one perspective. So I think what I'm hearing is go back and do more research. Because now that you have a balanced perspective, you might get a different understanding, a different interpretation, a clearer interpretation of what it is that you've been doing, or what it is that you've been searching, or what answers you've been looking for. Does that make sense, guys? Look into it further before proceeding. Look into it further before proceeding. And again, somebody may be feeling a sense of urgency, but I have to get this done now. But what about right now? I have these needs right now. All your needs are met today, tomorrow, and all of your tomorrows. Stop worrying. Everything's going to be fine. And really, guys, it's one thing to tell somebody, hey, stop worrying. Everything's going to be fine. It's something else to actually be in a position, where you actually stop worrying so that you know that everything else is going to be fine. These are not brand new cards that we've never gotten before. We've gotten them plenty of times, and each time we get them, we get a little bit more clarity, a little bit more understanding, a little bit more depth in relation to where we are in that particular part of our journey. And so really the biggest thing that I'm hearing for this, or that I'm feeling for this, is now is the time to just be, right? We talked about this a little bit last week, and I think in the week before, in terms of we're not looking at ourselves as, I'm this person working to be this person. Now we're going, no, I am this person. And now that I am this person, I'm inside the kingdom walls. I'm the I'm VIP in this party. Now that I know that I am goddess life, or I am the I am. Now that we're operating, we have to get into that flow, into that feeling, into that remembrance, that understanding. And I do say remembrance, that understanding of just being. And as we just be and we allow the light to pour through us, to shine through us, and this again is one of the reasons why water, nutrition, and exercise are so crucial to this. But again, as we upgrade our cables and we allow the light to shine in and through us, divine light, that it puts us in a greater place of just trust. And when we trust, we are now holding a completely different vibration. When we hold a different vibration of love and abundance and trust, guess what we bring to us? That's a thinker. You're being guided to adjust your vibration, and you do so through balance. Get your butt outside, but really through balance. And again, I mean that both physically, balancing yourself physically, balancing yourself mentally, balancing yourself spiritually. and then balancing mind, body, and spirit between the three of them. Okay. In doing so, again, you allow you. I'm reminded of the Vesica Pisces. Do y'all know what a Vesica Pisces is? I hate to say this description, but a Vesica Pisces is like, I'm not even gonna go there. I'm not gonna go there. Okay, so what example I will use is if I don't have, I'm trying to find if I have some kind of paper that will show up on the screen. You have 3 circles, right? And they're in kind of a triangle. One up here, one over here, one over here. And they all, there's one point where they all cross, right? What we're trying to do is bring all of those circles more into harmony. Because right now there's only one small point where all those, where those 3 circles meet. And so, unfortunately, the balanced energy that we're trying to create in our bodies can only fit through that small hole, right? But as we bring those circles closer and closer together and closer into alignment, mind, body, and spirit, guess what? That space gets broader and broader and broader of where all three circles meet. That space gets bigger and bigger. Think of that as that's a portal, or not a portal, but that's a port that you could that the divine can plug into. Right? Do you remember? Okay, that's a stupid example, but I'm just gonna say, let's open up the space so that we allow more and more divine light, divine energy, divine knowledge, divine understanding, divine peace, divine love to move through us. Right now, it's going through that little tiny hole and it's spilling all over the place, right? But as we begin to balance and to bring our minds, our bodies, and our spirit more into alignment, more into harmony, that intersection, that's the word I think I'm looking for, that intersection gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And now all the divine blessing is pouring into what? Every area of our lives abundantly. Abundantly. Javon says, I gotta tell you, I got a business opportunity last minute yesterday. Uh-oh, what'd I do? Okay, got a last minute business opportunity. I got a business opportunity last minute yesterday with an amazing place that I would love to work with. Also, my crush of 9 years asked me out. Get it, girl. I can feel it happening in my life. That is so awesome. And that's the big thing, when you can actually feel it. It's one thing to know it, but when your knowing isn't in alignment with your feeling, that's when we start getting these haphazard results. And we're like, why can't I seem to manifest my dreams? Because our knowing, our mental, isn't in alignment with our spiritual. And usually when these two aren't in alignment, then we're not physically doing what it is that we're supposed to be doing. We're thinking in the wrong direction, so we're doing the wrong thing. We're feeling out of a place of lack, so we're doing lack-based activities. I gotta do this, because if I don't, then I won't have that. But when we bring our mind, body, and spirit into alignment, we start thinking, feeling, and doing all in accordance with our divine purpose. And that intersection gets bigger and bigger and bigger. So I love that you say that, Javon. I can feel it happening in my life, because when you feel it again, that is the vibration you are emitting. Javon said, I always wondered what being in tune with my divine would feel like. That is amazing. And I really sincerely hope that, especially those of you who've been watching over the last few months, that is a place that you are moving to. That is a place that you are feeling. It is, growing up in religion, I've had brief interactions with God where I really felt connected, but they were always hit and miss. As soon as I left church, it was gone. As soon as I left, that prayer meeting or whatever evangelist was in town, like, I could feel something. And then as soon as I was out of there, it was gone. And I'm like, how do people feel this all the time? You know what I mean? Like, I didn't ever get it. And it honestly, this is going to sound odd to some people, but some of you are going to be like, yeah, I get that. It wasn't until I met my higher self once during meditation. And it wasn't when I met my higher self, that's when I realized. There's this meme that quotes Erykah Badu, and I don't want to butcher it, but she says something to the effect of, I used to pray to God until I realized I was praying to until I answered myself. When you are connected with the divine, when you are connected with I'll just say the divine, you understand that you are not separate from the divine. You are not separate from God. Just kind of like Nicole was talking earlier in the week about how she's been studying quantum physics. So when you couple that understanding of not being separate from the divine, and then you couple the science of how to manipulate the quanta, you're like, why are there so many people walking around broke, busted, in pain, hurt, destruction? Like this, you know, like it's so mind-blowing. Why are we not all creating our lives? And really, you know, again, I'm reminded, because this used to piss me off, guys. It used to piss me off. I'm like, religion just keeps people in bondage, and I've since done a full circle on that. You know, I'm not going to say that, because religion is needed for some people. Some people can't handle this understanding at this walk in their life. Some people, I'm just, you know, maybe weren't meant on this path, or on this, in this incarnation, or in this lifetime, to understand certain things. They're here to fulfill other tasks that will maybe next lifetime take them to the next level. But what I do know is that if you are one who is here with me and you receive any type of blessing from this message, you are at a point in your life where it is time to transcend. No matter what part you're already at. Maybe you've already always been spiritual. Maybe you've always been, you know, feeling in tune or connected. But whatever it is, you're being called to transcend, to go the next level. And like Javon, like you said, really understanding and feeling that connection to the divine. And the big thing for me, when it was even a little bit after that, I was in meditation again. And I always, like, for me, I always realized I was in my meditative state when all I saw was pure light. And I was able to kind of move the light around my body. But what I realized one day was I was approaching my meditation from okay, God, I'm trying to open up so you can pour your divine light on me. And then all of a sudden, I had that realization, the light has always been within me. But it was trapped down here. Once I learned to open up my heart, remember, Archangel Sandalphon, open up your arms. We angels have gifts from your creator, from you, from God. Open up your arms to receive. Once I learned to open up my heart, then I was able to send and receive. Does that make sense, guys? And then from there, bringing mind, body, and spirit into alignment. And the more and more I do so, the more and more that connection just flows. Not only to me, but through me, out of me, around me. Have you guys ever seen a magnetic field? Try and get a screenshot of that. Actually, I'm going to try and pull one up really fast. Really fast, like. Because I really just want to give you a visual. Toroidal field. Alright, image. Now, this is what's amazing. Let me see if I can find one, because there's a toroidal field not only around you, but the same exists around the universe. Oh, come on. Let me get just a big picture here. See if I can zoom in. Alright, so let's see here, guys. I'm going to try and do a quick screen share. Let me think about this. Let me think about this. There, hopefully you're seeing it. That was a little easier than I thought. So that is a toroidal field. Think of that. That, in essence, is your electromagnetic field. Okay? So there's an electromagnetic field around the Earth. But the same electromagnetic field, and electromagnetic field, there's another around your body, your heart. Let's see. Oops. There we go. See if I can spell. Gosh, guys, this is so much. I want to get into so much of this, but this is like, this is so far down the road. Okay, here's really the image that I'm looking for. Pinterest. Goodness gracious. Just give me an image. I'm sorry, guys. Open. All right, Pinterest wants me to sign in. We're not going to sign in. All right, so really here, I hope you can see my screen. I'm going to just zoom my screen. There we go. Energetic communication. I don't know if you guys can see this clear or not. I'm going to try and zoom a little bit. It won't actually let me zoom anymore. Research conducted in our laboratory has confirmed that when an individual is in heart coherence, the heart radiates a more coherent electromagnetic signal into the environment that can be detected by the nervous systems of other people and animals. That can be detected by other people and animals. And again, this is a heart-based electromagnetic field. So I say all that to say, okay, thank you, Javon. I'm glad you can see that. And Nicole said, yes, I am the I am. So I think, or what I'm really getting at is, again, so many times, guys, not just the spookism about, oh, attract what you put out there, but here's some freaking science on it, right? And what does it specifically say? The signal into the environment that can be detected by the nervous systems of other people and animals. This is why we have to be so clear about controlling our vibration. Because what we put out, other people are picking up on. Other animals, other things. That's what we're drawing to ourselves. So again, I come right back to here. A goddess uses her knowledge of universal laws of nature. If that is not a universal law of nature, I don't know what is, guys. You now have official knowledge of it. You know how to search it. Her conscious mind and her esoteric powers to manifest her dreams. A goddess understands how to transform situations using her highest influence. What is her highest influence? Her vibration. Her unconditional love that she holds within her heart. You can come in and literally transform situations because, again, science has proven that people, animals, plants even, they pick up their nervous system. Even if they don't know what they're feeling, their nervous system picks up on it, okay? So a goddess understands how to transform situations using her highest influence to make her visions and dreams a reality. So again, guys, I know I keep going off on that. But I cannot explain to you how important it is to understand this. And again, we're not just talking about, oh, Sharita, I believe you. I want you to know it for yourself. Because until you know it and you make that connection, your head's going to be in one direction, your heart's going to be in another. And now we've got that small intersection, and our manifestation abilities are not what we want. We're getting inconsistent things in our lives because we are now creating inconsistencies. But when we line up our minds, when we line up our hearts, when we line up our spirits, we just saw the physical science behind it. Then we allow that field to expand. The greater the field is, the more it attracts to it. You just saw it twice, not only around the earth, right? But also around us. My colleague, Minister Inky, he put it best. I think last week we did a live stream and he was talking a lot about diet and spirituality. And diet really being a big foundation of it. Because we can't put dead food into our bodies and expect our bodies to procreate or to proliferate life. If we're putting dead, enzymatically dead food in our bodies, we are A, depleting our bodies. We're robbing it of life, of nutrition. But B, as our cells then begin to regenerate themselves, what are they regenerating out of? Completely void and nutrient deficient products. So now guess what? The cells start to regenerate, but they regenerate weaker and weaker and weaker. And what do we call that? We mistakenly call that getting older, aging. Oh, it's a part of getting older. If you don't know what the hell you're doing, yeah. He also made a great analogy, or a great, it wasn't an analogy, it was just, he stated fact. Depending on what a person has going on within their bodies, their cells are regenerating, completely regenerating, every cell in the body, within 3 to 7 years. So that means every 3 to 7 years, you've got a completely new body. Now let me ask you something. Is your body getting better? Is it staying the same? Or is it declining? So we can't expect to take in dead food and for it to not drain the life out of our bodies, literally. Okay? And in doing so, as it's draining the life, you notice how when we eat certain foods, we get sleepy, my energy levels are off. This is the same energy that we're using to create and to manifest and to power our toroidal field, or electromagnetic field. And again, what did that picture say? It was powered by the heart. So whatever your heart is vibrating on, that is the energy you are sending out into the world. So if you're eating shit food, you're not taking in water, you're drinking too much booze, depressants, if you are weakening your body, you are exerting more pressure on your heart, therefore weakening it. You are now therefore weakening your manifestation abilities. That's why you're getting shitty results, or why you have in the past, or why people around you. I'm sorry, I don't want to at you, but that's why people get such terrible results. This manifestation stuff doesn't work. Because you're not working. We half-ass shit. We live in a Burger King society. Your way, right away at Burger King now. It don't work like that, y'all. Now, some of you are Pisces and you're just freaking psychic and whatever you speak just comes to life. That's awesome. But that's a double-edged sword as well. Right? And there are some people where it's like, oh my God, I've been meditating and putting my intention out for the last 5 years. Okay? But what was your intention out of? Because you've been getting exactly what intentions you've been putting in the world. You have been getting that. Right? That's kind of a scary prospect to think of, guys. I created all of this shit around me, good, bad, or indifferent. Right? So you've been getting the manifestation results. Now that you understand the importance of centering mind, body, and spirit, to open up that intersection, to allow more to flow within you, and centering that, balancing Cordelia, go outside. That's not just about, making sure you meditate, making sure you get some sun on your skin, because sun, believe it or not, a lot of people take herbs all day. I learned this also from my colleague, Minister Inky. He is a master herbologist. This man is wild with it. Anyway, most herbs, obviously they're plants, right? They're activated by sunlight and hydrogen, or in this case, sunlight and water, because that's where we get hydrogen from in our bodies, is water. So if we're taking in all kinds of herbs and we're, maybe you got a good shit out of it, okay, but you didn't actually, your health isn't improving, chances are you're not balancing yourself. You're not giving it what it needs. We're in this pill popping society. Well, if I just do this, it'll take care of that. Why not just take care of my mind, body, and spirit and let my life flow? You know what I love? Here's some examples. Yogis are some of the best examples in terms of aging. There are some yogis out there, not all yogis, but there are some serious gurus out there who you look at them and she's like, oh yeah, I'm 73. And you're like, what? I thought you were my age. I thought you were maybe a little bit older. I thought maybe you were in your 40s. I thought maybe, but I didn't think you were 73. Some of that is genetics, but a lot of that is how they treat their bodies in conjunction with their mind, in conjunction with their spirits. Understanding that the three are not separate. That a tripod that can't stand on one leg. If the other two legs are short, it's going to tip. Even if two legs are right. and one leg is short, it's still gonna be cockeyed. So ask yourself, have you been getting cockeyed manifestations? All right, y'all. I don't want to keep rambling. My intent was to keep it a little short. Hubs gave me a warning earlier. He was like, I'm running errands at this time. If you want to come, you need to be done. I was like, I'm getting out of bed right now. So I hear him out there. But I don't want to ramble on and on. But guys, this is literally my life's mission. This is where I let my light shine. In the sense that I want other women, I want other men, I want other people to be in full power and control, to understand what it is, how to control their lives, and not to do it from a selfish, I want to be a millionaire with the clay tile roof type house on the beach, you know, not to be that guy, but I want to enjoy all the love and the joy and the prosperity that this life has to offer. Mind, body, and spirit. It's not a selfish act. But in doing so, I get to live my life and to be a living example for others. I have a big trip coming up to go see family at the end of this week. And I'll be traveling for about 2 weeks. And really what my goal is I want to show my family where I'm at. Not because I want to brag and be like, ooh la la, look what I get to do. But because I want to help empower them, to show them you're not stuck in this life. You're not stuck in an existence. You're not stuck at a job that you don't like. You also have a life purpose. You also have a calling. And you're also being guided and directed to step into it. But we got to learn to trust and understand. And the thing that drives me so wild, and again, I'm not harping on religion, especially on a Sunday. But what drives me so wild is most people want to walk around quoting the Bible, but they don't even live it. They believe it, right? But they don't know it. Because if they truly knew the words that were being spoken to them, all of the love and the support, they would know they're being guided and directed every moment of every day. Whether you want to call it Jesus, whether you want to call it your higher self, whether you want to call it God, the universe, goddesses, your angels, your fairies, whatever. You're being guided and directed every moment of every day. And when we learn to feel, to allow ourselves to feel, most of us are so scared of our feelings, it's not even funny. But when we allow ourselves to feel, to not just to know, but to believe. I don't want to just believe, but I want to know. And I want to feel. And when we allow that to go out, my God, I know I'm taken care of. Because guess what? That's what in my electromagnetic field. I know for me, one of the things that truly expands my electromagnetic field, which is why I have to shame on me for not being as diligent as I should be, is my fitness. Like, trust me, I've really tried with I Am Goddess Life. Because you see, we went from Goddess Life Fitness to I Am Fitness, or I Am Goddess Life. And I was like, well, maybe I'll just drop. My higher self was like, bitch, are you crazy? Fitness is an integral part of what you have to do. Total wellness is mind, body, and spirit. So you can't tell people total wellness is mind, body, and spirit and then not train them on mind, body, and spirit. I was like, daggone, that means I gotta lead by example. Yes, I'm going to the gym. All right, y'all, I'm tripping, but yeah, like Javon says, those be honest cards. Yes, be honest with yourselves. What is it your heart truly desires? Because sometimes our head desires one thing, but our heart desires something else, and we're putting out incongruent desires. Sometimes our head and our heart desire different things, but they desire them for different reasons. Or excuse me, they desire the same thing, but they desire them for different reasons. Okay? So when we can align these things, the wheels just start rolling. Imagine on your car, if your front wheels, you know, your front driver's side wheel was trying to go left, your front passenger wheel was trying to go right, and your back wheels were trying to go backwards. And you wonder why is it that I'm always feeling stuck? Why is it that I always feel like I'm in the same position, just because shit's not in alignment. It's doing this, and we want it to do this. Does that make sense? Okay. So guys, by the way, a lot of the classes that I've been recording, this is the exact stuff that they're on. Some aren't as deep as others, but this is the exact stuff that they are on, the exact topics, because I want you to know just how much power and control you have. All right, so let's go ahead and wrap up for the day. I've been doing good the last few days, and now we're back up to an hour, but that's okay, because whatever it was, it had to be said. So I really hope, I'll come back to that. Let's social real quick. I really hope and pray that anyone who hears, sees this message, got some clarity, got some understanding for what it is that they're supposed to be doing, what it is that you're supposed to be balancing in your particular life. And again, remembering balance, not just indoors and outdoors, not just being on land and being near water, not just sun and moon, but balancing, again, mind, body, and spirit. Bringing yourself into alignment. Ask your guides, ask your higher self, please show me, where am I out of balance? Please show me some ways. I need a guidance and direction on how to, okay, I see I'm out of balance, but how do I fix it? Help me to be more heart-centered. Okay? So again, I just pray that anyone who hears this message is truly blessed by it today, that truly was fed by it. And I really pray that the meal that you got, when I say fed by it, that it wasn't just, you know, some mama's milk. Granted, that is incredibly nutritious. But sometimes when we get milk, we're hungry a few hours later, right? What I truly hope is that this is the steak and potatoes of knowledge and spiritual understanding, which is really interesting because Archangel Raziel told us early in the week that we were coming into more spiritual understanding. So I got to thank my guides for helping me to have a place to speak about this and a segue to speak about it, because these are things I've been wanting to talk about for like literally over a year. But it's been like, oh my God, how do I talk about this? How do I bring this into play? Are they even going to know what that means? That's so far out of left field. Does that even make sense? You know, so I got to thank my guides for the opportunity and for allowing me to speak. So anyway, thank you, God. Thank you to our angels, to our goddesses, to our higher selves, to our guides, to our fairies, for all the amazing, amazing guidance and direction, and really the wisdom and the knowledge and the understanding that you are bringing to us. Not just the believing, but the true knowing, that connection to our divine selves, to our divine, to the divine, to a higher spirit. We thank you so much for really just being with us and surrounding your energy and making this a safe place to discuss and to understand and to grow. Thank you for, again, for all the guidance and for all the blessings that you bring to us, not just to us, but through us, so that we may bless others with our own, by walking and letting our own light shine, and through our own spiritual teaching and healing in the world. Thank you so much for really just helping us to remain in a place of gratitude, for us understanding our electromagnetic fields and how they are powered by our hearts, and how that we can absolutely, as we become more heart-centered and we bring our bodies and our minds in alignment with our hearts, that we expand our electromagnetic field and really truly understanding how to influence every situation with our highest good. You gave us the science behind it. So thank you so much for all the guidance and direction, the information, the understanding, not only the belief, but the knowing. And again, all these many things we ask and we thank you for in unconditional love. Amen. All right, y'all. I love you lots. You know, what's interesting, I have to chuckle at myself. I pray a lot like my mom, and everybody always asks my mom, are you a preacher? And there are so many years where I've run from my mom. I come from a family of women who are preachers and teachers, and like I never in a million years thought that would be me. Never saw myself thinking, acting, speaking like that, and I just had to chuckle while I was praying. I was like, oh my gosh, I sound just like my mama. She'll be happy to hear that. I love you lots, ladies. I will talk to you tomorrow. We will have an amazing reading again, but again, balance, balance, balance. All right? The other thing before I go, please, love you too, Nicole. Please, by all means, for any of you who have not, click the link in the description. You are more than welcome to request a free reading. I will try to get to that to you ASAP. I'm always here for any questions, comments. please make sure you leave those below and all that good jazz. And I'm hoping tomorrow I'm going to the store to actually get some more shirts. Oops, I said that too loud. Hubby doesn't know I'm about to go buy some more shirts. But I'm going to have some new designs for the week. Sorry. Some new designs for this upcoming week. If I have it my way, like I'll have 10 or 15 new shirts tonight. So anyway, guys, I love you lots. Let me know also what you think about the designs, because I'm still kind of tweaking and I'm still kind of testing different t-shirt companies and all that good jazz. But in the meantime, we're gonna make something happen. Love you lots. Have a great day. And I just want to throw this out there. Speaking of vibration, there's something I've been dreaming of, and I fully intend on hosting a goddess retreat. And my intention is to host that retreat in Puerto Rico come March, April, somewhere in there. So I'm just going to put that vibration and that intention out into the world, and I will have more information for you once I go there in a few months. Then we're actually going to go and pretty much scout the whole island and all that good jazz. But that's all I'm going to say to that. I just want to put that out there. So for those of you who think that might be fun, girls trip to Puerto Rico, why don't you put that intent out there too, and we'll make it happen. Love you lots. Have an amazing Sunday, guys. I realize it was a little bit longer. Thank you so much for joining me. I will see you tomorrow. Nicole says, love it. Awesome. Me too. Take care. Bye.